Fire burns in my eyes. The weight of the mountain cripples me from every direction. My nerves burn with pain so that I wish to flail and scream, but I cannot move or even breathe. Surely I am dying. I want death to come quickly. Anything would be better than this trapped torment swallowed by pain and darkness. Then at last, weight lifts from my chest, my aching lungs as well, and suck in a breath. Smoky air burns on its way down my throat. Sofya, is that you? As he lifts more rocks and debris, my body squirms with newfound freedom. Fresh waves of pain blaze through my muscles. Stop! Stop!
No!
I have to get you out of here. No, it hurts too much. Stop! Please stop! He pauses a moment, uncertain. I slowly take in my current surroundings. I can barely raise my head, let alone sit up. But that is enough to see what I need to see. Colorful fires burn nearby, painting the sky with nightmarish hues. Otherwise, the horizon in every direction consists of only dirt and rubble. It's terrible. The city is destroyed. Countless people have died. And yet it's all somewhat beautiful if I just relax and accept it.
Please.
Sofya, you're badly injured. You'll die without help. I try to look down at myself. It's only then I notice I'm only seeing out of my right eye. Blinking, I feel nothing on the left side of my face. But I don't have time to think about what that means. Not just yet. I glimpse blood and slashed clothing. I don't need to see all my injuries to know that he's right. I can feel it. I felt it the moment he woke me up. I'll also die if you move me. Panic starts to rip through my shroud of weariness and misery.
Please.
You're a medic, aren't you?
I can't.
I can't heal humans. I need to connect to your Fae energy. I must be able
I
to.
want to die.
Please. I don't want to die. That desperate please takes the last of my energy. I sink back into the rocks, realizing that the fog-choked sky above me might be the last sight I ever see. I feel Harriman's hands running over my body. In any other situation, I would probably feel violated. Right now, I don't care. His fingers move under my clothes, probing gently at my wounds, then beyond. At first, I only feel a soft tingle, like someone sprinkling sand over my skin, and then the sand grows heavier, more invasive, until I feel like ants are crawling all over my body. I yell and squirm with all my strength I still possess.
Stay still.
Maybe something in his voice compels me to obey, or maybe I'm just too tired. I close my eyes and drift away from it all. My consciousness blinks in and out, like falling into the current of a stream, but occasionally surfacing. Even when I'm awake, my mind seems separate from my body, unable to comprehend what's happening. I'm aware of leaning into Harriman's body as he pulls me from my prison, then up onto my feet. My consciousness drifts again to escape the pain of movement. Somehow, Harriman healed me, enough for me to get up and walk with his help at least. Together we hobble over the wreckage to the city of Onegrad. Occasionally we stop, either so I can rest or so both of us can hide from anyone passing by. Neither of us feel very friendly towards anyone, Lushan or human. Pain burns my limbs. Fear churns through my stomach, but I keep moving through it, with Harriman's help, away from the ruins of Onegrad. Escape brings no answers. On top of it all, my mind struggles to grasp what has happened. Why did I turn back and walk back and towards the explosion? And how the hell did I survive?
Get me out.
Get me out! Get me out! Get me out! I open my eyes and look around in panic. I'm in a dark place. The walls around me are made of dirt and twigs. The lights are low and natural. There's a bed beneath me, but I'm not touching it. I'm floating in thin air. She's a balloon. I flail and clasp at nothingness. Help! Help! Somebody, please! The door of the hut swings open. Then gravity takes hold of me and I fall back into the bed with a heavy thud. Sofya, you're awake! Harriman, where are we?
We're safe now.
We're in hiding. Hiding? What does that mean? Where exactly? It's an abandoned hut near the border. Probably an old guard post. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He rushes to the bed and starts examining me.
How do you feel?
You've been asleep for days. How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Let me see your eyes.
But
Harriman, something had a hold of me. Something held me up in the air above the bed and...
don't worry.
Calm down. Be still. Take deep breaths.
You have to believe me.
No way. Something's in here. It's after me. It held me up in the air. You probably had a nightmare, although I don't blame you for mistaking a nightmare for reality right now. But you don't need to worry. You're safe here. You don't believe me. No, I don't. But even if you're right, and there's an invisible creature in here trying to lift you from the bed, it's probably not as harmful as your own panic right now. If you keep squirming around, you'll break open your wounds. My wounds? I look down at my body, then struggle to contain another cry of alarm.
Oh, shit.
I look like a fire lizard chewed me up and then spat me back out.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that's an accurate comparison, I'm afraid. You suffered incredible physical and mental trauma. It's a wonder you're still alive at all. If I hadn't been able to heal you...
But I thought
Lushan couldn't heal humans.
I can't explain it.
Normally, no. In fact, they taught us that it had never been done. Then again, the Irdun taught us many things that were lies. I suppose that is why I tried despite everything I knew to be true, and for some reason it worked. Perhaps all the Fey energy in the air that day made it possible. After the explosion, I've never felt so much Fey power in all of my life. If a Fey rift is like a waterfall of magic, then that explosion was like a tsunami. Everything in its path was completely soaked in Fey energy. The explosion? The memory returns to me as if it only happened seconds ago. The large pink sun over the city, the strange visions, the hallucinations I experienced only moments before annihilation.
what happened.
How many people, how many died?
Too many.
I don't know. Thousands, tens of thousands, too many. I feel tears running down my cheeks before I can try to stop them. Why? Why did the Lushan do this? How can you accuse us of abusing Fey energy if you...
That isn't true.
I had nothing to do with what happened. That horrible act was carried by a handful of Irdun extremists, and I hope that Dune curses their souls to eternal ash for what they have done. The rage in his voice surprises the both of us. We say nothing for a time, while I let my tears fall and Harriman struggles to contain his anger.
Get me a drink.
I need whiskey. I don't think that's a good idea. No, I mean, I need whiskey. I'm probably in withdrawal.
Nice try.
But even if I approved, we don't have any. Then go buy some. I have money. And where would that money be, Lady Rykov? I took off your clothes. I didn't find any coins there. You took off my clothes?
Of course.
Well, of course. Do you think I placed your bandages and dressed you with magic? Right. I normally look a lot prettier underneath. I promise. I believe you. I'm an idiot. What?
Roland was right.
Roland was right about me. I'm the biggest imbecile on Esther's green earth. I could have escaped that place even after I freed you. I still had time to get out. Why didn't you? don't know. I really don't know. All I remember is turning around and going back into the city. I don't remember why. Only that I felt like I had to do it.
How stupid!
And now look at me. I'm like a toy doll that's been ripped up and stitched back together. I'll never have sex again. You shouldn't even be alive.
No.
No whiskey, no sex. What's even the point? But it's true, and I didn't even get to tell my side of the story to the military, so who knows what I'm going to return to when they learn what I did.
Pull yourself together.
Look at me, Harriman. What is there to pull together? You sound like me a week ago. Like you've given up all hope.
What's the point?
After what happened, why should I have hope? Our people are going to tear each other apart over this, and my life is ruined. You can't be so sure about that. Given how many people are dead, you should be glad that you even have a chance. If I can keep healing you, you'll return to full function eventually. We might even use glamour magic to hide your remaining scars. But until then, you must remain patient and keep still. It doesn't change the fact that I was already useless before the explosion, and now I'm just somebody else's burden. I don't want that. I never wanted that. I remember what that soldier Roland said to you. He called you a spoiled brat.
That isn't true.
Yes, well, he was wrong. You made a righteous choice to stay as far from the fighting as possible. You refused to be part of the violence.
But
I also like to sleep late and have no responsibilities.
If it wasn't for you,
You did have responsibilities. You took care of me and Muriel and many other prisoners. You helped make our days in prison bearable, and then you went far beyond your duties. You risked your life to save us all, and you convinced me that I was worth saving in the first place. Oh, I messed up again. I don't know what she said. Yes, you could have. You could have run to safety and never looked back. As I almost did right after the explosion, but I'm not sure how I knew to look for you. After you saved my life, it didn't seem right to leave without seeing whether you were okay. And as I went deeper into the rubble, I could sense someone trapped, desperate for aid.
thank you.
Thank you.
no need for that.
You don't need to thank me. Once I nurse you back to health, I'll consider us even.
But
I'm pretty sure nursing me back to health means providing whiskey.
You must stay in bed.
Go back to sleep, please. I awake with a start in the night. I don't know how long I've been asleep. Is it the same day? Is it weeks later? I can't even tell anymore. My head is swimming and every inch of my body aches. I see Harriman asleep on the ground next to the bed. I reach out to him to wake him to see if there's anything he can do about the pain keeping me awake. My hand wrapped in bandages trembles fiercely as soon as I stretch it out. Harriman? His eyes blink open as soon as he hears his name. You're awake. I was afraid. I'm shaking.
Don't worry.
You're still alive.
I just don't understand.
Whoa, I'm so bad. Oh, I keep messing up. That's better than the alternative. Listen, just calm down. She must be having a panic attack or something. I can't calm down. I need a drink. I need to steady my nerves. Oh, she's going through withdrawals.
No.
You don't understand. Understand that you should be dead. Maybe a dozen times over. I don't know how you have the energy to keep waking up, and anything that takes away from that.
Please!
Just, it hurts so much. And my mind, it's like everything is firing off at once. I just want to feel less of everything.
You're safe now.
Feeling isn't bad, Sofya. It's bad when everything feels like it's on fire.
Can I help?
I might be able to help. My healing magic worked on you once. Maybe it can again.
But I thought...
Even though I'm a human, I can't explain it. But if you're in so much pain, it's worth a try. Harriman sits up and puts his hands on my shoulders. The second I feel his touch, warmth spreads across my body. The burning sensation recedes from my limbs and remains only deep in my chest. Does that help? It does. I can barely feel it anymore.
I can't explain it.
This is unprecedented, Sofya. I've never heard of a human responding to Immolation healing magic before. I'm not complaining. Is there anything else I can do? Harriman's healing magic has dulled the pain of the burns, but I can still feel my arms and legs trembling. I don't know how much of it is the wounds and how much of it is the withdrawal. I can't remember the last time I went more than a couple days without a drink, and I can feel it especially as the agony of my injuries recedes. But I also know that the explosion did more than burn my skin. It scorched my muscles and weakened my tendons. I can feel how weak they are, and the trembling might be organic. It might never stop, no matter the effects of Harriman's Immolation's healing magic. I can't stop shaking. Ask him to hold you. Tell him you will be fine. Oh, she's all about sex and whiskey. Okay, let's see. Ask him to hold you. This might sound strange, but can you hold me? I don't understand. Just hold me still for a little bit. Harriman doesn't say anything else. He just pulls himself up onto the bed and wraps his arms around me. I feel his warmth against me and my nerves begin to calm. He leans his head against mine, careful to avoid the burns on one side of my face. I feel his breath in my hair, steady and unwavering. I meter my own breathing to match his. It calms me, and for a moment my arms are still. Then I close my eyes and I see the pink sun, the dread star, hovering over the broken buildings of Onagrad. My muscles twitch and I pull away from Harriman.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I thought... No, it's not you. I just can't get it out of my head. The explosion? What came before? My hands are trembling again. Harriman moves closer and intertwines his fingers with mine.
So,
There's a trading post nearby. I'll walk there in the morning and get you some whiskey. It's clear you need it. My magic isn't going to solve this.
Thank you.
This doesn't mean that I approve. You don't have to. Try to get some sleep. Should I return to the floor? You don't have to. Having you here is comforting. I'll stay, just for a bit. But you need your rest, and there isn't room for us both. Yes, there is. Ha! See, told you. I scoot a little closer to him as to prove my point, but mostly because I want to.
of course.
Indeed. Thank you, Harriman.
If it wasn't for you,
You saved my life. The least I can do is try to make sure you don't lose yours. He speaks as if he considers all of this his duty, but judging from the way he cradles me in his arms, I'd like to think that's not the case. With Harriman's arms around me, I feel like I can sleep again. Good night, Sofya. Yay! Another achievement unlocked. A close friend. She wants him. Try not to worry that I won't wake up. I'm pretty sure I will. The next few weeks are a delirious blend of dreams, nightmares, and pain upon awakening. Again and again I see the large pink sun when I close my eyes and colorful smoke swirling in the sky, followed by visions of things that didn't even happen. Harriman is always there for me when I thrash awake from pain or terror. Normally I would be embarrassed to be so dependent on another person, but right now I am too grateful for his help and support to care. Harriman's magic continues to heal my wounds. Even that should be impossible, and his calm devotion soothes my soul. The sound of someone banging on the door rouses me from an especially nourishing nap.
Harriman?
Harriman, why the hell are you knocking? Can't exactly come to the door. You're the one who told me to.
Quiet!
Shh. Harriman's hiss makes me start. He's not on the other side of the door. He's sitting just a few feet away from me. Harriman? But didn't I just hear a knock on the door? He nods emphatically, staring at the door in terror. Does anyone know we're here? No, so keep your voice down. It's a human. Okay, you hide. I'll answer it.
No!
Don't you move! Harriman's explanation rings loudly through the hut. We both fall into mortified silence, as does the person on the other side of the door, until... I can hear you in there! Open up! Harriman looks around the room until he finds a particularly large stick. I worry about what he intends to do with it. Before either of us can do something foolish, the door bursts forcefully open. A silhouetted figure steps inside. Harriman raises his stick. My eyes adjust to the identity of our visitor.
Roland!
Sofya!
What the? Sofya, you're alive! Harriman!
Hey!
Please, Roland, don't do anything rash. Harriman saved my life.
Oh, really?
In that case, he also ruined it. The story of your treachery has spread. People know that you released enemy prisoners during a time of crisis. They'd probably want your head on a platter if they didn't believe you were already dead. They what? I saw you turn around and walk back into the explosion. What did you expect people to think? I don't know. I haven't really had time to think about it. What happened to you? I was blown up. If you look at me, that's pretty obvious. I guess some rebel kept me in just enough safety that I survived, but barely. Why did you go back? Yeah, about that.
The war.
What of the war?
Actually,
The war is over.
Is it really over?
Did you just say it's over? It's really over? Turns out that the elves have been fighting a civil war of their own for the last few months, with more people turning against the Irdun and seizing cities deep beyond the forest. They didn't want to fight the humans anymore, at least not as an invading force. The Immolation of Onegrad, that's what they're calling it now, was the last-ditch attempt for the Irdun to win the war and send a message to the rebels, but it backfired. The use of the Fey reactor as a weapon alienated all but the most extreme Irdun. The Leshen united against the Irdun leadership and formed a new government, and just in time, since in response to the Immolation, the Empire was planning to burn the forest to ash. Empire's forces were met with a white flag and an unconditional surrender, offering all of the occupied land back to the humans as an apology, as if anything could truly apologize for the murder of thousands of innocent people.
thank the Fae.
Thank the Fae. I thought I could feel it. Most of my Leshen brothers and sisters crying out in horror when they heard of what happened, but I dared not hope for this. Harriman is trembling. I see tears of joy running softly down his face. I can barely hold back such a reaction myself. I suppose I am still in denial. The war between the Leshens and humans have been going on for my entire life. Can it really be over? None of this changes the fact that you released enemy prisoners while we were under attack, Sofya.
Who cares?
Who the hell cares about that now?
Think about it.
Plenty of people, especially because people think you're dead. You're growing into something of a legend. The Leshen would bow down to you as a hero. No big surprise there, but plenty of humans are pissed. What if one of the prisoners you released was an Irdun operative in hiding? What if you inadvertently helped them out carry out their plans?
That isn't true.
That isn't true. None of us condone such terrible violence. We were medics and messengers and scribes. You shipped all of the warriors off to some other prison. That may be so, but the matter will be investigated when people realize Sofya is still alive. The citizens we freed from that destroyed building will likely testify that you helped everyone escape, Lushan or human, but it won't be enough. Come on, Roland, you know as well as I do that our prisoners were not extremists.
Maybe.
I think that might be true, and I know you believe that they were innocent, but it's hard to know for certain. Regardless, Sofya nearly did die. She certainly would have if I hadn't found her. She is still healing from significant wounds, and she's in no shape to stand trial. Are you really that hurt, Sofya?
I'm glad you're all right.
I'm glad you made it out of there alive, Sofya. I really am. Do you think you're ready to go back?
I really doubt that.
I don't think so. I can give you a little more time, another week or two maybe. But the Emperor's police are already conducting investigations about Onagrad, and there's a lot of focus on what happened in the prison. The sooner you can return to tell your side of the story, the better. In the meantime, I'll do what I can to make sure all the blame isn't thrown on you, and I'll keep my mouth shut about finding you here for 2 weeks at the most. You understand me?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Roland. He nods curtly. It's hard for me to tell how he feels about any of this. Even he must be glad the war is over. But what will life be like now that the fighting has stopped? Is it hard to imagine how life will change for everyone? Wait a moment. How did you find me?
Actually,
I've been searching ever since you turned back. Everyone else thought you were dead, but I know you too well. You wouldn't go doing something that dumb unless you figured a way out. Though it doesn't look like you got out of much.
I'm doing the best I can.
I cheated death. That's worth something.
be careful.
A trading post nearby said that the Rykov sigil had been used to obtain a line of credit, one that had not been paid. The food here didn't last more than a few days. We had to use something. You know that your family is going to find out about you now, right?
Anyway,
I still have a bit more time before the merchant turns to my mother. Anyway, what made you so sure the forager was actually me, a legitimate Rykov?
There will be consequences.
The person making the purchases wore a headscarf to hide his Lushan ears and bought a bottle of Cliff's Edge whiskey on every visit. Do not worry, Roland. I made sure she only drank in moderation. It is just without it she can be rather annoying. We'll go with that. Roland turns to Harriman, meeting his gaze with obvious effort. His voice is heavy with emotion when he next speaks.
Thanks.
Thank you for helping Sofya. Of course.
I'll give you one chance.
Trust you keep looking after her. If she gets worse in your care, war or not, I'll shoot you in the face. You hear me? Yes. Roland looks at me one more time, nods, then turns and strides back out. Harriman and I are both silent for a long while. His head is still bowed, and I think he is still quietly weeping in appreciation of the war's conclusion. I can understand that. I am really happy too. I'm filled with more emotions than I know what to do with. Which is why the last thing I want to do is lie in bed like a useless corpse. With a lot of grunting and wheezing, I start to get up. Sofya, what are you doing?
I can't keep sitting on my ass.
Did you hear a word he said, Harriman? The war is over, and my name's being passed around like I'm some sort of war criminal. I can't keep sitting on my ass for the most important days of my lifetime. Roland was right. I was wrong. I need to get back to the Crown City and sort all of this out.
You must stay in bed.
Still healing, Sofya. I've been guiding your body so that it continues healing correctly, and it's a miracle I still can. I don't expect to remain capable of that for long. If you move around and reopen your wounds, and I mean your internal wounds as well, you will risk permanent injury. You might even...
You won't stop me.
I don't give a shit. I'm getting up and you aren't going to stop me.